What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Dolphins Daily, your daily dose of Dolphins content with your boy Chris Kane. And we want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Kalshi. Remember, download the Kalshi app today. Use promo code FANARCHFootball to get $10 when you trade 10. Let's talk about the Dolphins. So we're recapping the preseason game, as I'm sure we're all super hyped and excited about it. I'm going to primarily focus on the first team offense because we had a lot of people missing on defense, and there's not, frankly, as much to talk about when we're not a whole unit. But the offense is really what I think is driving the conversation. We all want to see Malik on the field. We all want to see the offensive line, the running backs, the receivers. This was the big thing about, can the Dolphins compete this year? We have the most uncertainty on that side of the ball, where basically every position except for running back is like, every position group except running back is kind of like, we don't know. So the opening drive for the Dolphins is really the main point we're going to talk about. Opening drive was 14 plays, 93 yards, and he scored a touchdown. That's like, I guess, the big point to talk about. What I wanted to see from the quarterback was, how composed would he be? How much time would he have? How accurate were his throws? Um, and does it look different than it did with Tua and Quinn? I mean, that's really what it is. We paid the money to bring in the guy that we thought could be the guy. So let's see if he's the guy. I thought Malik played very well. He looked very composed. He didn't make, I think maybe the throw that Caleb caught was like maybe the most high leverage throw because it was tight coverage back shoulder. But the rest of the throws were rollouts, kind of throws in the flat. Like they weren't crazy, or just flat throws to the flat. Like he really didn't try to throw like the deep bomb in the game. And I'm guessing that Washington was playing some version of a cover two, so there weren't plays that deep available. But the ball placement was good. He should have had another completion, but Caleb decided he didn't want to drag his feet. Rookie mistake. But then he made up for it by making a one-handed catch that almost certainly gets the hype train going, right? We've already been talking about the fact that he's been showing out in camp. We've said, hey, looks pretty good so far. And then he gets in the game and makes a very rookie mistake initially, where it's like, hey, catch the ball and get your feet in. Like, what are we doing? But then he makes a one-handed circus catch, and we're like, okay. It's like, hey, if you don't want to catch the ball normally, that's probably not good. But if you make a circus catch every now and again, I'll forget that you did that. Um, he definitely redeemed himself. I will say that much. But we just drove the ball down. I mean, 14 plays. How many 14 play drives do we have last year? I didn't look it up before the show. So if you know that, let me know. But I would say probably less than 10 last year. If I'm being honest, maybe less than five. That's a long, controlled drive. And Malik only completed, what, four passes? So it was a lot of just running the ball, which is what we've wanted. I've said from the jump, this should be a run-based team. That's before offensive line was even good. I said last year, offensive line is not so good. Run the ball. It's the cure of everything, right? I thought Caden Proctor looked very good. He was only in for the first drive, but he looked big. His feet looked good. He didn't look as big as he came in from the draft, which tells me he's kept his weight under control, which is good. And his feet look good to me. I thought Jonah definitely looked much more improved on that side of the ball. I don't know if it's just the fact that he switched to the right. I don't know if it's the number change. I don't know if it's just the fact that he really couldn't get much worse than what last year was. I don't know what it was, but he looked good to me, which I really wanted to see because we know Aaron Brewer's going to be great. Patrick Paul, I expect to be pretty good, and the right tackle situation is kind of a mess because we have injuries. But I expect to see the two guards are where I was looking the most. Can we run the ball? Can we control the pocket with that offensive line? There were two times where Malik had to vacate the pocket. Once was he got kind of flushed immediately, got upfield and got, I think, about 7, 8 yards. And just remembering how inept we were when the play broke down a little bit for the last 4 years. Like any version of pressure in the pocket, it was like there's no running that's going to work here. And Malik just got out of the pocket so easily. And I didn't think he was even rushing to get out of the pocket. I think he wants to stay in there. But, he's got legs. He's going to make a move. And the second round, when he got out on the outside and he broke a tackle and just stepped out of bounds, it was like, I didn't cry. I'm not going to lie to you. But it was emotional to have a quarterback that had other options to their game. It was like, oh, he ran and broke a tackle and looked strong and looks effortlessly fast. It was like, wow, we haven't seen that in a long time. But the running game was really solid, like maybe more than really solid. Devon and Ollie both average over 5.5 yards a carry. We'll be doing the Ollie segment later on in the show. And HN looked to me as much as we expected him to look. Like he did very well in between tackles. Like he's always been sneakily good at running in between tackles. People think because he's such a scat back type that he's got to go on the outside and just burn everything. But he really is good at being in between because he's not a big dude. You give him any little sliver of space, he'll kind of slide in there and he makes moves, man. I thought we created enough space in the run game for him to do his job, and for him and Ali both to perform that way. Because if Devon had a great yard per carry, and every other running back we had was bad, then I could say Devon is great and they're not good. But when other running backs are doing the same thing, it feels more like a consequence of the line doing their job, which is we need that. I'm always going to be aware of the pass blocking. Like that's a big deal, especially when we want to start pushing the ball down the field. Again, we didn't do that like with the starting unit for the most part in this game, so we didn't really get to see can he stand in the pocket for 3 to 4 seconds and look somebody off, step into it, 7 step drop. We didn't get to really see those in this game, but that's fine. It's the first game of the season. We're not we don't need all that right now, but it was enough to I think whet the appetite. I think people who were absolutely down on the Dolphins offense, especially, left thinking, okay, they'll be better than we thought they'd be. All pro? No. Top 10 offense? No. But are they going to be better than we thought? Yeah, probably. I think that's where the I saw some people saying Malik Willis going to the Pro Bowl. Like, relax. It's like, guys, what are we talking about? That may have been a little bit, that may have been a little extra. But definitely look composed. Looking forward to the receivers growing and getting more gelled as well in there. But solid there on defense. I was really looking to Chris Johnson, who I thought he was in the right position a lot of times. He didn't make a ton of plays. I think he was thinking more than he was playing and reacting, which I expect from young people. Same thing with Jacob Rodriguez. He was near the ball a lot, but he didn't really make like he was in pass defense one time, but he didn't make like a lot of splashy plays. I think he was filling it out. NFL is different. We expect them to kind of it's gonna take a little bit for you to fill everything out going forward. But yes, we lost the game, but that doesn't matter. We don't care about that part. For me, it was like let's see how the offense is doing in this game. Let's see how the quarterback performs. And I think all in all, if you I don't know how you would leave that disappointed in the offense. You may have wanted more from the defense to some degree, but given that our offense just has so many question marks going into it, this is for sure something they can build on and go forward on. If that offensive line keeps gelling, keeps getting better, I'm telling you, I think the ceiling for our offensive line is being a top 15 offensive line. And I never thought I would have said that 3 months ago. Like if Jonah lives up to his second round billing and Caden lives up to his first round billing, and we get Austin Jackson back, obviously Brewer and Patrick Paul they all just live up to what they're supposed to be. That's the top 15 offensive line. I know that sounds crazy. Dolphin fans are like, what? It is. You have giants on that line. Patrick Paul is a giant. Caden Proctor is a giant. Like Jonah's a giant. Now, Aaron Brewer is a little bit undersized, but he's amazing because he's undersized. Like they got some big boys out there. And if they just live up to their ability, we should be able to control the line of scrimmage. And that changes anything you can do on a football field starts at the line of scrimmage. If you can control that, you can control the game. Speaking of offensive line, Jamari Sawyer is now done for the year, which is very disappointing, very sad because we've talked about over and over again how injuries have affected his team. Offensive line, we mentioned last week, the Dolphins went out and got the tackle from New England. And people say, why would you do that? You already have people. And it's because offensive lines always get hurt. We talked about depth plays and getting young guys that can kind of fill in a rotational, multi-versatile offensive lineman where you can play guard and tackle. Like Jamari was basically the backup guard to Jonah. And then like the third string tackle behind Austin Jackson, like he had a little bit of both like duality there. But, he was banged up and just like Zane Gonzalez, he's out for the year. And that's disappointing because we were kind of hoping he would come in and compete, maybe push Jonah a little bit for the job. Now there's basically no reason Jonah wouldn't start outside of him being hurt. Like there's no competition for his spot. But this sucks, man. Like it's because he was on a 1 year deal. He's trying to keep himself in the league. And when you get hurt before the year even starts, that kind of puts a damn thing on your prospects there. It makes the Dolphins offensive line even thinner. We made 2 moves today. Neither was offensive line, which I thought was interesting. They may have a different plan there, but I don't know. It just sucks, man. Injuries are always a thing. Preseason injuries where you don't even get to play. It just feels like a little bit more magnified. And we just mentioned the offensive line at their ceiling could be, a top 15 line. And now, but part of that is sometimes guys have to go out for a series or two. And you need guys that come in behind that you feel, all right, this person is competent. Not starter level, not amazing, but we can bring you in the game and teams don't feel like that's barbecue chicken. Like you come in, it's like, all right, you can hold down the fort maybe a game or two, and then we can build around it. But now we're getting, down to second and third stringers, maybe some like undrafted rookies, castaway offensive linemen who haven't found a home. We're getting to a lower part there, but yeah, Jamari's out for the year, man. Wish him the best. We'll see how fast he recovers if someone else picks him up in the meantime. But his tenure with the Dolphins is almost certainly over, and we wish him the best. Before this season even kicks off, everyone's making predictions. Who wins the division? Who makes the playoffs? Who's lifting the trophy at season's end? On Kalshi, America's #1 prediction market platform, you can trade those predictions in a live market. Now, I'm going to go to the app right now, and I'm going to look up a couple of options. We're going to do the MVP because I think that's something that's been talked about in the media a lot. So right now, Josh Allen is the favorite to win MVP, and his probability is 11%. Meaning, if you trade $100 on Josh Allen today, your payout will be $855.77. Now, we don't root for Josh Allen on this channel, but I am rooting for you guys to win. So that may be something to consider. On Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house. And as the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position. Trade the draft pick, the game, and more on Kalshi. Download the Kalshi app today and use promo code FANARCHFOOTBALL to get $10 when you trade $10. KALSHI. Kalshi. Trade on anything. And we talked about the offensive line being dominant. One of the things that we went out and did this year was draft a blocking tight end, Will Kazmarek from Ohio State. And it wasn't a sexy draft pick because one is a third round pick for a tight end that's not primarily a pass catching tight end. So I think a lot of people are like, what's going on there? But every team that's good at running the ball has one of two things, sometimes both. They either have a really good blocking fullback or tight ends that they can come in and do the job blocking. Now, in a perfect world, you get a guy like George Kittle that is arguably the best blocking tight end and best receiving tight end, which is why he's like probably a Hall of Famer. Gronk was also both of these things. Great blocker, also a great pass catcher. Kelsey's competent blocker, amazing receiver. Will is a capable receiver, but I wouldn't expect him to have too many games with more than 3 catches. Like he isn't going to be the feed me the rock kind of guy. He's the dude that's going to be like that 6 offensive lineman. He's going to be the guy that controls the edge. He's going to be the guy that adds that little bit of juice, right? He's you call him a glue guy. Every team in every sport has this where there's a couple players that they don't get the headlines. They're not super well known necessarily, but they're beloved by their fan base because they do all the dirty things. Think of like a Derek Fisher taking charges for the Lakers all the time. Like he was always in position to take a charge while they had Kobe and Shaq. It was like, yeah, those guys are superstars, but you need that Robert Horry kind of dude. And in football, you need tight ends that might finish the season with 30 catches, 2 touchdowns, 350 yards. And you're like, man, he really wasn't that effective. And it's like, no, he was. And then you see the film and you see him just constantly like getting inside those guards and those tackles, turning their shoulders a little bit, setting the edge so the running back can get off the tackle, maybe like initiating that end, then moving upfield, getting a second block, like because they're a little bit more nimble than offensive linemen, but they are strong, right? So a good blocking tight end can help set the edge, can get upfield, can be great in the screen game, which we weren't amazing at last year, but I feel like we should be because Devon is actually a great receiver and amazingly fast. you get a little bit of blocking in front of Devon, he may make a cut or two and be gone for 80 yards. Like he's that good. Ali and Jalen can also receive. So I think he honestly could be a very interesting difference maker because it's the versatility thing. He's like Greg is going to be our receiving tight end because he's not as good of a blocker, and Will, I guess, is going to be our blocking tight end. But if you were always switching these two out, meaning, okay, it's time for you to come in, teams will start assuming, okay, they're going to run the ball because that's what he's great at. And if he can show just enough receiving prowess, then it's like, oh, all right, we got to take him seriously enough. And if Greg is a little bit better blocker than he's shown before, then the same thing. There may be times we go to a two tight end lineup, and now you got effectively seven offensive linemen, six of which are like bona fide if you add Will to that category. But they both can go out, they both can block. It just gives you more options when you don't have to bring in another 350 pounder. You can bring in an eligible receiver that's closer to 250. I think for his first showing, he looked like a guy that's not only going to make the roster, but a guy that's going to get some real playing time. And if we live up to the identity that I think we should be, which is a running based, physical, hard nosed team, I don't see a scenario where he doesn't play a lot. I don't know what percentage wise, because I got to figure out what kind of alignments we're going to have. If it's a three wide receiver set, then I guess you can't have two tight ends too, right? But if we go to a 2-2, like a 22 formation, two tight ends, two receivers, and you know, one receiver, one tight end goes into goes out in the route, one tight end stays in the block. Maybe a running back could be a fourth receiver. Like we go into those kind of sets, then yeah, I think he could be really useful. I look forward to seeing him in the next game because now teams kind of know who he is. This is his first time being out there. He's a rookie, right? I'm curious once teams know what he does, if he's still as good at blocking as he showed in his first game. Because he could have surprised people with his speed or strength, but now that they know it, the second game was showing me, okay, they know that you're a blocking tight end. They know you're good at this, and you're still getting your blocks off. That tells me you might just be that dude at this. And that is a very invaluable skill. Again, he's going to be cheap for a number of years with a really high skill set for us. I think he could really be special at that. And if he can just add a little bit of receiving to it, he got something good. Now, I mentioned physicality, so I had to bring up Ollie Gordon. Y'all know I've been very outspoken that I thought Ollie should be our running back too. I said it last year before the year started, and he didn't live up to it, frankly. He had a couple moments where you're like, oh, there he is. And he's really good in short yardage, but he wasn't an every down kind of guy. And he just really didn't seem to live up to his talent. I still remember the Doak Walker, Ollie Gordon. I remember him being that good. And I'm always hoping to get that version of him back. And in yesterday's preseason game, or 2 days ago now when I'm watching this, when I'm recording this, him running the ball looked like our backup running back. But then he decided to get himself pulled from the game and get a 15-yard penalty and put the team in a bad place. And that's the thing of there's always this ebb and flow with Ollie. Like we would love to just keep building up, but things keep knocking him back down. Like the very first practice we had where we were like all on the field at the same time. First practice, he fumbles the ball. And it's like, all right, man, like is fumbling and unsportsmanlike stuff going to be what gets you off the field? Because Coach Hafley he had a very long quote about what that did to the team. Like he pulled him out immediately, chewed him out on the sideline. He talked about it later. He's like, I'm not going to play guys that put the team in a bad position. I'm not going to play people that can't control their emotions. I'm not going to play people that are that selfish on the field. And if you're fumbling, that's not selfish, but that's definitely putting the team in a bad place. If you're committing penalties, 15-yard penalties on third downs, then yeah, that's also selfish. That's like these are easily avoidable. And I think the team so badly because he's such a low draft pick. We're not paying him any real money. And he has such a high ceiling that, I mean, we did the Sonic and Knuckles thing. We did like the Thunder and Lightning, whatever you want to say the two could be. And again, Jalen Wright is always out there. But I just think that the contrast between Ollie Gordon and Devon, to me, is big enough that it really changes your running game. But it's like all there for you. Like it's like, here, take the backup running back spot. Jalen Wright hasn't done it yet. After this year, he'll be eligible for an extension, and he hasn't earned one from us at this point. We know he wants one. It's like, all right, it's much easier to just move on from him, maybe get a 5th or 6th round pick back, and then really reinvest in you. But you got to want it, man. Or better yet, don't lose it. Don't throw it away because you can't hold on to the ball. You can't control your emotions. Like it can't be that. I've said many times, I expect you to win the job. I said it last year and you didn't live up to it. And I'm saying it again. If what the team wants to do is be good in cold weather, physical, good in short yardage, the bigger, stronger, younger back, I feel like should be able to do that. I don't know what Jalen Wright's ceiling is, but I think Ollie Gordon's ceiling is a really strong number two. Like is a Tyler Algier type player. Not a good ceiling. Like Tyler Algier was 1,000-yard back before Bijan even got there. Like he's really good. Is a Zach Charbonnet type? Is that out of the question? Like he could be that if he wants to, but you got to get out of your own way. The running back stats tell the story, but all the other little things got to clean it up. And this he's on notice now. Like he can't probably do anything else for the rest of the preseason without being realistically demoted. You fumble in preseason game number two, get banged up, penalties. I don't see how you get real burned. So Ali, you gotta lock in, man. But as always, y'all, thank you for tuning in to Dolphins Daily. We appreciate it. Love and support. Thank y'all for the likes and the subscribes. We'll see you next time on Dolphins Daily. Peace.